Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome back to Verbal Ability class. Today's session is an essay writing. This is one of the most important sessions in campus recruitment examination. There are companies which have separate section for testing verbal ability, especially on writing skills. Companies like Capgemini, companies like Wipro, they have one is the aptitude test where we have logical reasoning, we have quantitative aptitude, we have verbal ability section. Apart from clearing the examination, you also have to go through this examination, and that is essay writing. So, if you talk about just writing skills, so it doesn't, suggest us just go and write something. There are things that are, evaluated in the examination. So when I say essay writings, there are things that we have to learn, that we have to understand, that we have to focus or, recall, I would say, concentrate when we are writing essays in the examination. Those things are, in fact, I have divided the session or the tips in three categories. They are, number one is the size, number two is the structure, and number three is application. Okay, so if I talk about the size of the essay, because what I have observed in most of the examinations, generally students are unable to write the complete essay. These companies like Wipro, they ask students to write an essay of 400 to 500 words. And what generally happens? Students are able to write only the essay, or maximum people, around 80% students, they write essay of 200 words. So if the requirement is that you have to write 400 words in an essay and you write just 200 words, that's not acceptable. I think we are scoring 50%. If everything goes well, if everything is correct in terms of that requirement, still I will be able to score only 50% because I just have met the 50% requirement of the essay writing. Correct? So 200 words doesn't solve the purpose. That means we have to write the size that is being asked, and it is generally 400 to 500 words. Correct? Now, how to write an essay of 400 to 500 words? Generally, the issue or the common challenge that we face, or we generally do not write an essay of 400 to 500 words because of the reason is that we start writing a paragraph. My dear students, please understand, a paragraph is not an essay. Paragraph is a part of an essay. So an essay may have different paragraphs, but we cannot write the complete essay in one paragraph. So now the role of structure comes in the picture. And the role of structure comes in the picture where the structure of the essay. Please understand what is the structure of the essay. So first is the introduction. Second is the body. Third is the conclusion. Okay, now we have to learn here that what should be written in the introduction paragraph, what should be written in the body paragraph, and what should be written in the conclusion paragraph. If I have an essay of 400 500 words, trust me, by the end of the session, you people learn some strategies by which you can write an essay of any given topic of 400 500 words. How? Okay, decide the ideas, decide the points that you want to write in essay writing. Suppose the topic is given to you, the most demanding topic that is that is with us rather in these days, and this is COVID-19. So if you have to write an essay on COVID-19, I'm sure yes, because we are getting multiple things daily, from different channels, from social media, from the news channels. So we may be able to write an essay of 400 to 500 words on such topics like COVID-19. But if the topic is given to you this way, like political, a crisis in Rajasthan with Sachin Pilot, or a political crisis in Rajasthan politics between Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot. So those who do not have the knowledge about political things, or those who have not watched the television or have not got news from any of the sources, they may not be able to write an essay of, in fact, 100 to 200 words on this topic, Sachin Pandey versus Ashok Gehloot. Correct? So how to write an essay on those topics where I don't have any information about it? So the beautiful idea is that just select the introduction thing. What does this introduction means? That we have to introduce the topic. So what is the topic introduction? That I have to make the comparison between these two politicians of the Congress party in Rajasthan and the impact, impact of their relationship, whether this was the sweet relationship between these two or the bitter relationship between these two, and the impact of this relationship on Rajasthan politics. Correct. So in introduction, what I have to write, I have to introduce the topic. After that, the essay should be, in the body form. So in the body of the essay, what do we have to write? In the body of the essay, in fact, we can divide this body in multiple paragraphs. And what is this body? This body may have examples. This body may have supporting ideas, to the main idea, to the introduction. This body may have some situations. This body may have some causes and effects. Okay? So, with this way, if I have something in my mind that in the body of the essay, I have to write some examples. So, I can write some examples of Indian politics with the sweet relationship, with the bitter relationship, and I can also discuss the impact of that relationship in the politics, with this cause and effect thing. In fact, I can share some situations. So, however, I had no idea about what happened between these two, but I can get some information from the history, some examples from the history, and I can put those examples here in the body of the essay. Because this essay writing evaluation is not about your thought processes. It's not about your the statement or the fact whether you are presenting those facts correctly or incorrectly. It is about your writing skills. It is about that you have to write something correctly and something structured. Correct? And the next is conclusion. Never ever, this is my suggestion, personally, suggestion to all of you, that never ever add new ideas in the conclusion. Conclusion is whatever you have discussed in the introduction part with the body part, what supporting ideas we have presented with the body of the essay to the introduction part, we have to conclude those ideas here. We have to conclude. So, what was the conclusion of this? That yes, this was some a bitter relationship, and because of that, the politics, shaped. Correct? Clear? Okay. Now, next part is the application. What is this application part? Application part is that yes, we have to apply, the key requirements in the essay correctly. And this application is one is about the grammar. And if I say grammar, it's a vast topic. It has everything. So, especially, in grammar for essay writing, I would suggest you that avoid writing, the long sentences. The common mistake that students make in the examination or in the essay writing section, they try to write very long sentences. They try to connect 4 and 5 sentences with more and more conjunctions. So when you are writing more and more conjunctions, the possibility is that maybe the sentence is incorrect in terms of modifiers, maybe the sentence is incorrect in terms of parallelism, because in long sentences, we generally forget modifiers and parallelism. Correct? In fact, some clauses as well, clause errors, we are not sure about, to putting the clause at the right places. So this is about grammar thing. I would say in grammar, we can talk about spelling mistakes as well. This essay is evaluated by the computer, and computers, they have the tendency to identify spelling mistakes and grammar mistakes. In grammar, as I discussed about, avoiding the long sentences. Apart from avoiding the long sentences, I would suggest you please take care of subject with agreement part. Your verb should agree with the subject. Correct? So, write, keep your communication simple, keep it short and simple. So this is KISS formula for grammar, for writing. Keep it short and simple. So the short sentences you're writing, they have less possibility of making errors. Okay, next is redundancy. Okay, so when we say size 400 to 500 words, it doesn't mean that you are repeating, you are writing same sentences in introduction, same sentences in the different paragraphs of body, and same sentence in the conclusion. So I cannot, in fact, I should avoid the redundancy of the sentences. I should not use the same sentence in different bodies of the essay. Correct. So avoid redundancy. And the next is very important thing to know about essay writing, especially when we are writing essays on computers, that do not press space button, space bar unnecessarily or multiple times. Whenever it is not required. Why I am saying that do not press the space bar unnecessarily, because the computer considers one space bar as one word. So the number of words will be lesser than the given task, and if I press those space bar continuously, so the size of the essay will be reduced to just one paragraph. Correct. So this way, we can start writing the essays. I would suggest you please practice. I'll be sharing, a worksheet, after the session, where there will be some topics to write an essay. So you can share your essays with me. You can in fact practice essays on those topics. In the evening, we'll have a quiz on essay writing. So I suggest you to please appear for the quiz religiously. You complete the quiz, you score well. With this, I would like to wind up the session. Thank you so much.